Let's do it. One take. Non-stop 11 cities. G'day everybody, this is Chris from SUP Racer, and we're chatting again about the SUP11 City Tour, my favorite event in the world, a very, very, very special event, and a very challenging event, and there's nothing more challenging about the 11 cities than trying to do it without stopping. The Non-Stop 11 City Tour it's mind-boggling. It's batshit crazy. I don't know why anybody attempts to do it non-stop, and I really don't know why I attempted to do it non-stop last year. I think I'd done the 5-day race enough that I thought this is the logical next step. Let's just do it non-stop. And I just finished the Yukon River Quest somehow, and I thought, well, this is way shorter. It'll be easy. No. The Non-Stop 11 City Tour, I can safely say, was the most difficult thing I've ever done on a paddleboard. It was harder than the Yukon. It was harder than any of the other ultras. It was just a nightmare roller coaster of physical and mental pain. But it was very satisfying to finish that more than any of the other 11 cities. I really, really felt good crossing that line. I made a couple of mistakes. The first one was I didn't listen in the race briefing that you're not allowed to draft in the Non-Stop 11 cities. And a couple of minutes into the race, I decided to start right next to my buddy from Sweden, Andreas. And I thought, he's just a bit fitter and faster than me. I'll just stick with him. I'll draft him for the first 10 or 15 hours and get halfway through the race. Within 2 minutes, I'm sitting on the back of his tail. And he looks around, he's like, hey man, we can't draft in this one, right? This is the non-stop. I was like, what do you mean? We can't draft? He's like, yeah, there's no drafting in the non-stop. I was like, oh my God, you're kidding. That was my whole plan out the window in the first 2 minutes. So it became a very long weekend after that. I think I've set the record for the only person ever to finish the Non-Stop 11 City Tour on Monday morning. Because we start on Saturday morning, most people finish Sunday afternoon. I kept going all the way through till the wee hours of Monday. All day Saturday night, and the nights are long in Friesland in September. The Yukon was easy. The sun doesn't even set there. It's daylight all night. In Holland, in September, they have long nights. So you're in pitch black for 10 hours straight. And that really challenges you mentally. So I went all night, Saturday night, all day Sunday. And have you ever had that feeling when, you've had a big night, maybe you're a bit hungover or you're just jet lagged and tired, and it's really bright outside and you just can't stand the sunlight in your eyes? I had that for 12 hours on the second day of the non-stop. It was beautiful, beautiful, clear blue skies. And the last thing I wanted to see was the sunshine because I hadn't slept. I was exhausted and I just wanted to hide in a hole somewhere, but I still had another 75 Ks to go. So I managed to limp to the finish line just after midnight. And I clearly remember the final couple of hours of the non-stop. I could barely even stand up. I knew I was the very last person. Like I was dead last. I could barely even stand up because my feet were just collapsing in on themselves like, wet leather or something. And I went down this one really dark stretch of the canals where there's not many lights. It's kind of like the backwaters of the canals. But there's all these little cottages on the edge there. And it's, at nighttime, there's a lot of mist that rises up. It's very foggy. It basically looks like somewhere that a serial killer would live. And I clearly remember every house that I would go through, like every 100 yards, there'd be another little cottage. And I could clearly see somebody standing on the edge of the canal looking at me. And it scared the shit out of me. What was someone doing out there at midnight? I'd just look up and go, whoa, there's another person up there. And of course, I'd paddle 100 meters and it'd be a tree or something, just a random inanimate object in their garden. But I think 5 or 6 times I clearly saw a person staring at me, just haunting me as I went along there. So yeah, I highly recommend it. The Non-Stop 11 City Tour. It's a good challenge. It's actually fun in a really, really strange, sadistic kind of way. You will, I think, enjoy the Non-Stop 11 City Tour. And if you can finish, and if you do finish, that sense of satisfaction is just incredible. It's a real, real sense of achievement. And if there's anybody waiting for you at the finish, there wasn't for me, I think, because I finished so late. There was about 5 or 6 of the volunteers left, and they were very, very kind to stay up till midnight and welcome me home. But when you normally finish, there's a lot of people there to cheer you over the line, and that sense of pride and that sense of achievement is something very special that you'll always remember. So do the 11 cities at least once, and also do the non-stop 11 cities at least once. It's very special. Just one tip, train before you do it, because I didn't, and it takes a really long time. All right. That's, 15 minutes. I think I said at the start I was going to try and keep this to 5 minutes. My apologies, Tanja, or whoever's doing the editing for this. Are you editing these? Whoever's editing these, I apologize. There's a lot to work with there. That's a lot of rambling. For 15 minutes by my standards, that's actually pretty good. All right. Shut up, SUP Racer. Go to bed.